I know how frustrating it can be to try all the manifestation techniques you find online to manifest money into your life and still get no results. You could be meditating and visualizing a certain scene, scripting everything down, saying affirmations, yet despite trying all those and God knows what else, you still get no results. However, as I delved more into manifestation the past 2-3 years, and after manifesting a handful of things into my life, like a job that I wasn't even qualified for, but yet I got accepted and I made $11,000 by the third month of me being on the job, and my current business that at its best month it did $26,000 profit, I now understand that it's never about the technique, because all techniques work, but it's about one main thing that stops all kinds of manifestations. And I want to tell you what that one main thing is so you know exactly how to avoid it and how to work around it. But for me to tell you that one main thing, I want to tell you about a story of a guy that's very close to me and I learned a lot from. He wasn't my mentor, yet I observed his mistakes. And by me just observing his mistakes, I knew exactly what to do from a young age in order to find success in my life. And that person is my father. You see, in 2007, my father made a move that a lot of people admired him for at the time. He decided to move to a place that was growing at a rapid speed. It wasn't known at the time as it's known now, but now it is the one main place that your favorite influencers go to. It's a place that's known for its wealth. It's a place that's known for its exotic cars. It's a place that's known for influencers, and that place is Dubai. My father moved to Dubai in 2007 with the dream to build something of his own. It made sense at the time to move to Dubai because, again, it's growing at a rapid speed, tons and tons of opportunities. But what if I told you that my father never found success in Dubai until 2020 came about? I know it's a very long time. Between 2007 and 2020, my father was just jumping around from one job to another. But when 2020 came about, my father saw an opportunity that not a lot of people saw that put him on the map at some point. When COVID hit, companies were shutting down left, right, and center. And what my father did was he went to all those factories and he was like, listen, I'm gonna buy all your machinery for pennies on the dollar and you're gonna take my money because you need it more than me. And he said yes. My father bought all the machinery and he resold it for a big buck, like a big markup. And after selling all the machinery, he decided to take all that money and start his own business, his own construction factory. Now from 2020 till mid of 2021, things were going perfect. My father was making more money than he has ever dreamed of, and he was closing deals left, right, and center for his business that was about to make him a multi-millionaire. Essentially, I was about to be the kid who would live on a trust fund and then eventually take over his father's business. However, things decided to go sideways because my father had a mentality of always being scared. Every time my father made good money and he would come home with some profits, he would spend it all. Not with the idea that he's gonna make more of it and he trusts that he's gonna make more of it, but he was worried that he's gonna lose it all at some point. He was expecting that at some point all this is gonna go away, so may as well spend it all now. And I remember I would go up to him and be like, okay, let's chill down. And he'd be like, no, we used to live in horrible conditions. It's about time we live a good life. But we lived a good life not in the essence of that we trust that we're gonna keep living that. No, we lived it from a point of scarcity. We were expecting that this at some point will go to crap, so may as well live it now while it lasts. Now towards the end of 2021, things started to go sideways. He started to lose money, deals were falling literally down the toilet, his business partner started to scam him, and everything just went sideways. By 2022, my father had to declare bankruptcy and everything was lost. Now by then, he went from something to everything to nothing. Imagine going from something to nothing. How could you even do that? And why did that happen? Because he had the wrong expectations in his mind. You see, the way life works, it all goes according to your expectations. People say have faith. Well, what does faith mean? Faith means expectations. And if you have expectations that are wrong, then you're gonna get the stuff that you're actually expecting. So when my father expected that things would go wrong for him, things did turn out wrong for him because he expected the worst. People say you gotta expect the worst to always prepare. No, you should never expect the worst, because if you expect the worst, that means you do not trust God enough. And if you don't trust God, then that means you will get everything that you don't want to get. So a person must learn at all times to train their expectation muscle. It's always good to have that feeling of knowingness that that thing you want will come to pass. But sometimes after all the things we go through in life, it's very hard to have that feeling of knowingness and to have faith. But the way to train faith is through expectations. Instead of sitting down and contemplating on the bad things that could happen, remind yourself of the good characteristics of God. If God is all giver, he's going to give you exactly what you need. So as you start to sit down and just kind of let go of your thoughts for a second and contemplate on the idea that everything is okay, and saying to yourself, I expect nothing less of what I want from God, but I expect more of it. Always tell yourself what I want will come to fruition because I expect the best from God. Always remind yourself that you expect nothing but the best from God, because that's how you avoid failure and that's how you get what you want. That's how you train the muscle of faith. You can't just wake up and just have faith. You need to train it, and the way you train it is by training the way you expect things to happen. However, as you start to expect better things, sometimes life will throw some obstacles at you to test you, to see how faithful you are to your idea that the thing that you want will come to fruition. But you gotta always remind yourself that every time an obstacle comes your way, its one main objective is to feed off your energy. Because if it feeds off your energy, it's gonna give you more exactly of what annoys you. So always remind yourself that I know exactly what these negative situations, these negative people want from me. So I'm gonna be aware of how I direct my energy, because that's how I live a peaceful life. So when you combine living a peaceful life by directing your energy to better places than negative entities, and by also training your muscle of expectancy, that's when good things start to happen. You can meditate every day, you can visualize every day, but if one bad thought comes into your mind and you start to dwell in it and you start to expect the worst out of that bad thought, then that's exactly what's gonna happen. Life isn't bad. What's bad is the way you think. So the moment you decide to train how you should think and what you should feel in your heart, that's when life will start to go according to your actual needs. So instead of telling yourself, I expect this to go wrong, or I expect myself to not make some money, or I expect myself to find it hard to achieve a certain outcome, tell yourself, I expect God to provide the necessary resources in order to make that thing come to reality. I expect God to give me the best path in order for me to manifest that certain thing. I expect God to make all my manifestations come true. That's what you should remind yourself each and every single morning when you wake up, is that you expect nothing but the best from God. Because when you expect the best from God, God is going to give you exactly what you need and even more of that. Don't be like my dad and let go of fear and doubt and scarcity by expecting the best from God, because God has unlimited resources and he only wants you to ask and expect the best from him, so he can provide for you exactly what you need and even more. And as you begin to expect the best from God, God is going to give you the opportunities, the circumstances, the people in order to bring that thing that you want into reality. You want financial resources? Expect that God will provide for you at all times, and God will give you the people and the circumstances and the opportunities that will fulfill your financial needs.